If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Hello, welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Mike Simpson, your MC, and with me today are Daphne Ramil, our interviewer, and Capo Dave Williams, our founder, is our engineer. Our mission here is to support your local open mics, and it's our pleasure to present the more experienced and accomplished singer-songwriters who play at those events. With no gimmicks, no frills, this is the beating heart of American music, that tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us all together for generations. And now I would like to introduce our performers. I'm going to give you their name and where they're from, and hopefully they will start my video. Okay. I will, as I say, give you their name and where they're from. And then guys, if you could wave when you hear your name. First up will be Diane Battistello from Norton, Massachusetts. Then Ron Smith, Jefferson City, Missouri. The Hewitt Family Band from Brookhaven, Mississippi. Bill Palmer from Murray, Kentucky. Judy Neal, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Ellis Ralph from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Jim Rezac, Wyoming, Delaware. Robert Edgar from Sunnyvale, California. And Chuck Brodsky from Asheville, North Carolina. Our first player is going to be Diane Battistello from Norton, Massachusetts.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Mike, for the introduction. It's so good to be here. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you all had a good Easter dinner. So my first song is called The Introvert's Buffet, or What I Did on My COVID Vacation. And I'm lucky I could just stay home. I know a lot of people had to work and a lot of people got sick and some people died, and I'm not trying to make light of that, but it's just my experience was a little funny or fun. I don't care if I can't go out. You won't hear me scream and shout. I will not be walking around with a pout, 'cause I'm at the introvert's buffet. You gotta tell me, what's the fuss all about? 'Cause I've been sipping champagne, I've savored quarters and stout. I went down to the river, caught me a big fat trout. All at the introvert's buffet. And I'm happy as I can be. I'm reading my books, I'm watching TV, I'm playing sex with the dog, sitting under the trees. At the introvert's buffet. Ba 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 ba. Na 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 na. Oh, the introvert's buffet. I don't have to make excuses for staying home. There's no cross-contamination when you're all alone. I'm at a feast for one, it's so much fun. At the introvert's buffet. The introvert's buffet.
Nice.
All right.
Yay for the introvert.
Oh,
Yes,
I am an
I
introvert.
identify with that.
My dog's over here. Trying to settle down from the holiday. So I was sitting there having my breakfast one day. I was just kind of minding my own business, and all of a sudden some words started coming down, and I thought, oh, I better go get a pencil. And this is a song that came out. It's called Soon. You don't have to call me in the morning. There's nothing that you need to say, 'cause I can tell by the way you hold me that everything is okay. You drive me a little bit crazy, and you make me smile, and I think my heart skips a beat sometimes, 'cause I feel giddy like a little child. Soon you will be leaving, and I'll move on too, but we have these days, these moments right now. My capo's in the wrong place, sorry. It's fun just to sit and talk with you. Can't do it. Am I allowed to start the whole thing over again? Thank you.
Please feel free.
Thank you. I'm a little riled up here from company leaving in a hurry and the dogs running around. And I'm a very slow person. It takes me a long time to settle down. You don't need to call me in the morning. There's nothing that you need to say. I can tell by the way you hold me that everything is okay. You drive me a little bit crazy, and you make me smile, and I think my heart skips a beat sometimes, 'cause I feel giddy like a little child. Soon you will be leaving, and I'll move on too, but we have these days, these moments right now. It's fun just to sit and talk with you. We share the secrets of our lives, and you've unearthed my sense of humor. You found my jest was buried so deep inside. You drive me a little bit crazy, and you make me smile. So let's raise a glass to staying friends across the many miles. Soon you will be leaving, and I'll move on too, but we have these days, these moments right now. So you don't need to call me in the morning. There's nothing that you need to say. 'Cause I can tell by the way you hold me that everything is okay.
So pretty.
Oh, thank you very much.
Song.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me start.
So you can hear Diane at the Hearing Room in New Hampshire and at the Rhode Island Songwriters Association open mics. Daphne, I'm going to turn it over to you here.
Hi, Diane. Welcome back to
Hi,
Open Mic
Daphne.
America.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. I'm glad that you had a nice Easter dinner, and I understand your dog is all crazy over
Oh,
there.
she's all wired up. She's running around and she's like banging on my knee and
Oh my gosh, we don't see her, but it's probably really distracting. There was one performer a while back who had a cat that started to meow a lot, and when I called attention to it after her performance, she didn't like that very much. But it was cute, so it doesn't really matter. So Diane, you wrote 2 songs about something that's not funny, but you kind of found the positive side of each one of them. And I mean, do you do that a lot?
well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. A lot of times the stuff just kind of comes in and I just like write it down and then I kind of go back and make sure things rhyme and dot the I's and cross the T's. And the Introverts Buffet, I was actually on my way to a show in Providence, and I don't really carry a cell phone. People are trying to get me to do it. But so I got this hit of music, words in the music, and I was like, all right, I'm going to a music show. I have nothing to write this down with. How am I going to remember it? So I was sitting at the show listening to somebody else, and I kept like singing the part in my head that I got in the car. And then I did, when I got home, I did manage to write down that one line, and then the rest of it all came in.
Oh gosh. So it just popped. So how do most of your songs just come into being? Do they just like pop into your head just like that? Or
A lot of them do. I do really well on prompts. I really like it when somebody gives me a prompt and then, you have to really work at it. But sometimes a lot of them just come in as a download or at the beginning of one, and then you have to sit and map it out.
I love the way you say a download. So an introvert, I always think of performers as being extroverts. They want to be on stage and they want people to look at them and listen to them. So how does that work, being an introvert, and yet you are you want to perform and sing? I mean, how does that, where does that come from?
I just like to write songs and I like to sing, and people kind of have to push me out on the stage, and after I go to the same place over and over, then you start to feel a little more comfortable. And for me, the online open mics were really wonderful because you went every week, the same people were there. They were very supportive, and that was very helpful. But basically, I don't like doing it.
So you have something really that you want to say and express, and you have to do it if you, right? I mean, if you want to express it, you have to get out there.
Yes.
Well, we're glad that you do, because we've enjoyed having you on this show an awful lot, Diane.
Thank you, Daphne. Thank you so much for making me feel at home here.
And thank you for your 2 songs opening our show, and we hope to see you again soon, Diane.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to move now into the Midwest with Ron Smith from Jefferson City, Missouri. Ron has open mics that he attends, the Sunrise Beach open mic. I certainly think of beaches when I think of Missouri. Rob's virtual open mics and the Music Matters Showcase. So, Ron, I'm going to have Dave put you up, and on you go.
There I am. Hello. Nice to be here. This is my second time on here, so I'm a little bit less nervous. But my first song is one that I wrote fairly recently. It's called Blues Shoes, just because I couldn't think of any other title, and it's got the word blues and shoes in it. And it's got something, it kind of comes out of the time here in the last couple of months My wife and I decided to put our house on the market and expected to, that take a couple of months. It sold in a day. And so we had the house sold, but we had no place to move to. And then things would work out, and we thought, oh, yeah, this is all going to work. And then we'd find out something out, and it all came crashing down again. So that's sort of kind of where this originates. I need a break from all the crazy making that's been messing with my head. Turn off the crazy news and pick up some walking shoes and spend a little time outside instead. There's so much to gain, so much I'd like to lose. Let go of my psychic pain, let nature clear my brain, and let those shoes just walk away my blues. Ah-ooh. Life is a funny game, there's no 2 days the same. Peace can turn to panic in a blink. I know it doesn't pay, I worry anyway. No limit to what I can overthink. That's when it's time to say, tomorrow is another day. Let go of my psychic pain, let nature clear my brain, and let my blues. There's so much to gain, so much I'd like to lose. Let go of my psychic pain, let nature clear my brain, and let those blues, let those shoes walk away my blues.
Bravo.
I have to switch guitars. I'm going to mute myself for a second so I don't blow your ears out with this cable change. Did it work? I should possibly explain, I just bought that other guitar for April Fool's Day, and the songs are in 2 different tunings, and rather than try to retune the guitar, since I had a second guitar, I decided to do this. This second song is called Things That Are Not. things that can never be. Why are they so hard to let go? Fantasies, wild dreams, crushes and wishes, and all those things that creep inside my mind and work their way down to my heart. Hold me nearly hypnotized, blind to what's right here in front of my eyes. What's so wrong with today? And all the things that I've got. Would I really just trade them away for all of the things that are not? There is no day but today. There is no moment but now. There's no place but the place I'm in. There's no other time to begin to let go of the future and the past. Live today as if it were my last. Well, it's easy to say, not easy to do. But deep down inside, I know that it's true. What is so wrong with today? All the things that I've got. Would I really just trade them away for all of the things that are not?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
Daphne, Ron is all yours.
Hi, Ron. Welcome to
Daphne.
our show. I loved those songs.
Thank you.
And you know, they both really spoke to me, but in a way they seem like two sides of the same coin. They're
Yeah.
both about letting go, but your walking shoes is about like disconnecting from all the negative stuff. And then things that are not is about gratitude for all the positive things.
That's
So,
great insight. Thank you.
and you put them together in the same
What a
set.
deal.
I loved that. So, have you been writing songs for a long time?
Yeah, off and on. My latest spate started about 4 years ago, and that's when I got really active. Before that, I had actually put the guitar down for about 20 years for a while, and I mean that's a little while.
That is
And but anyway, yeah, it's I've kind of been I've been writing like junk jingles since I was a kid. I drove my parents crazy with all of that stuff. I can rhyme anything and make it a quick junk jingle. But
you do have a fun way of twisting around words and playing with them. You do. So what, you were playing as a young child and playing guitar and singing little jingles and driving your family nuts? Is that what
well,
you
I
said?
wasn't. I was doing everything except not with the guitar. I did have a little ukulele for a while, but I was an a cappella kid too. I listened to a lot of Peter, Paul, and Mary and stuff like that. The old folkies, and I really hung on to the harmonies and stuff. I memorized those records, but mostly I like to just be a smart aleck. I was a middle child in a dysfunctional home, and so I was trying to put a little fun in that dysfunction. It was fun for me.
So you fought back with music?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All I heard was Ronnie, quiet.
Well, see, we're not telling you that now. You're performing for the entire country.
I
So
know.
there.
What a flip.
I know. So tell me about your music community. You mentioned a lot of different open mics. How is that for you? What's your part there? How?
Well, I've been. I was just cutting my teeth sort of with performing again. When COVID hit,
Yeah.
and Rob's open mic in Baltimore, Maryland. Somehow I got hooked up with that through a mutual musician friend, and that really was a tremendous gift to be able to perform weekly with a group of folks like others have, like Diane mentioned. Um, just I did that, and then another guy that performs on that open mic has his own other open mic, and he invited me to do that. So I've done that some. And then locally, down when I was living in Camdenton, there was a coffee house that was doing open mics periodically. And the first one I did there, I was shaking so much you could see my trousers jiggling. It was crazy. But actually, the one in Sunrise Beach is a fairly new one, but they are letting me do my own show here in a couple of weeks, and they're going to record it. So
Wow, from being told to shut up,
there you go.
you get to do your own, you're asked to do your
Yeah.
own show.
Yeah, the
Bravo.
Ron Smith show. Yeah, it blows me away. They're just a couple of folks I met through the Sunrise Beach, or the other coffee house open mic, and we got to be pretty good friends. And just one day he said, would you be interested in just doing a show and we'll record it? Because we were talking about how I don't have nothing recorded. So anyway,
Do you have a
I'm
lot
taking
of
too much time.
material? How many songs do you have?
I've got about, well, you mean good songs or songs? No, I've written about 45, 50 songs in the last 4 years. So
Wow, that's prolific. You do have a lot of songs you can pick from.
yeah,
Well, that's awesome. Well, I hope you have a wonderful show, and thank you for being on this one. And we hope to see you again, Ron.
you bet. I'll be happy to come back. Thanks so much.
Very nice, Ron. Thank you so much. Hey, now we're going to move to the south a bit. We're going down to Brookhaven, Mississippi, where Charlie and Libby Hewitt comprise the Hewitt Family Band. And I'll let Dave put you guys front and center here.
All right, we're the bare bones of the Hewitt Family Band. We have others that join us when we play out sometimes. Didn't mention, this is our celebratory hat I've got on. I usually wear that brown thing, and since today was Easter, and we sang at our church on Easter this morning. Had a good time, and the second song is going to be sort of Easter related, but this first one's about, we're right next to not close to the train track here in Brookhaven, and each day about 12:15, the city of New Orleans, yes, that one that they sang about, goes by every day at 12:15 if it's on time. And so it's going to New Orleans, so this one's called 12:15 to Broken Dreams. 2, 3, 4. Train whistle blowing, it's 12:15, city of New Orleans, rolling through again. I want to ride that train in New Orleans, make my getaway. That blue train rolls through every day, a little past noon, it's coming every day. Everyone stops, looks at their watch, they want to get on that train when it stops. It rolls on down to the land of dreams, a Hammond Ponchatoula, Cajun dream, rolling on down to New Orleans. Rolls on down by Man Shack Cafe, catfish are jumping into grease every day. Lake Pontchartrain, Cajun heat, waiting on the rain. I was way down yonder in New Orleans, down in the land of broken dreams. Can't always get what you oughta. Come on, Sylvie, bring me a little more water. All my days turn into nights, and all my nights turn into days. You can hear them sing the blues and the quarter day after day. The hookah gets into your soul, telling you to let the good times roll. Jackson Square is calling every now and then, makes you want to have more. There's a way down yonder in New Orleans, down in the land of broken dreams. Can't always get what you oughta. Come on, Sylvie, bring me a little more water. Oh, come on, Sylvie, bring me a little more water. Isn't that sour?
All right. Nice.
Right along here. Since we started singing in churches a bit, on the last little LP we did, we had about 3 or 4 church songs that I've written and written some more. This is one that I can't find a church that will really approve me singing this one in a service. So I try to get it in anytime I can. And trust me, it's all scripturally correct. It just, it's called Mary and Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
What you got to say?
It just has a little spin that's not exactly ready for prime time worship service.
Well, the women are going to probably like the spin on it, though. Mary and Mary Magdalene. They were the first to arrive. They stayed till the end. Where did all the men folk go? If you need something done, find a good woman. She'll stay with you till the end. One of the men struggled back that last. He knew his mama would want him bad. But he was the only one. The others did not come. They all paid for it in the end. Where did they all go? Why did they not show? Answer was so simple it seemed. Some were afraid, some did not believe. They all came around in the end. What did the women have? The men did not possess. Maybe a backbone and a brain. Maybe they understood things they could not see. Good example for you and me. And for all this, what did they receive? What good fortune came their way? On that Easter morning, they were the first to see no more death for you and me. Where did the men go? They were still moving slow. The women had beaten them again. And as the men cried out and tried to take the credit, the women just sat back and smiled. 'Cause they were the first to arrive, they stayed till the end. Where did all the men folk go? If you need something done, find a good woman. She'll stay with you till the end. She'll stay with you till the end. So I got a good woman here.
Yeah.
See that? All right, Daphne, off to
Well,
you.
first let me ask the good woman there. Wait. Before we start, do you all see my t-shirt?
Oh, you went so good.
Yeah, I put it on special for your performance. So there, and you have the Open Mic America t-shirt. So that's good.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
that red pops on that t-shirt. You got to give it that much credit.
Yeah, thanks. It's a good t-shirt.
Really pops.
So asking the good woman, could you, I mean, as always, we always ask you, could you show us what you're playing? Because nobody can really see it. Is it possible to see now?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about that, Libby.
electronic auto harp put out by Suzuki.
Sounds okay.
Bought it through Amazon, and it has the different keys for the chords over here and a little strum plate right there. It has lots of bells and whistles that I've not learned how to do, but what I do know how to do has been working well for us. It provides a good kind of foundation for our sound.
Oh yeah, it
Cool.
really does. Thanks for showing that, because I bet people on YouTube are just like curious. What are they hearing? I've seen it before, but I want you to show it to all the new people. And let's see. I see you have so many pictures on your wall, and we've never really asked you about that. Do they tell your musical, the ones of you, do they tell your musical history? Tell us about that.
That's the whole. Some of those are the
Yeah, we
Hewitt
have
band.
a lot of John Prine, and what you can't see is an almost life-size picture of Charlie.
Well, they don't even know about that. I didn't do that. Somebody else did that. And my cousin Jim, we played. My cousin Jim and I have been playing together for off and on 50 years now.
Yeah, so some
Wow.
of those are people who perform with us, and some are family, but
And now you mentioned John Prine. Is he one of your musical heroes?
Oh God,
yes.
I think you could. I think you could logically trace the history of singer-songwriters from. Well, if you may want to say Jimmy Rogers, but I was going to say Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger, on down to Bob Dylan, on through to John Prine, and now I believe it's Jason Isbell. He has wonderful words. He's a great singer-songwriter, I think.
So there you have a list of his musical man crushes.
So yes.
His what?
His musical man crushes.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. And do you have the same ones, Libby, or do you have different musical heroes?
No, we have creative differences. I come from a church choir background, and so
Southern Baptist church background.
yeah, so my musical tastes run differently. But I do write some songs that are what we kind of just call Americana. And maybe next time we perform, maybe I'll do one. But I don't write as many.
You've done some for
Yeah,
us.
I've done some. But
Yeah, you
I'm just-
have done songs that you've written, but so
Yeah.
your musical tastes are different, and yet together you're just perfect. So how do you explain that?
well, it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to get that to gel.
I believe I bring out her perfection.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's
And,
always
working up a song together is like, I guess, watching sausage being made. It's just, it's like a knife
it's
fight.
not a pretty sight.
really.
the
Do you argue a lot about the song and how to play it?
No, it's because I began taking music lessons when I began reading in the first grade and took through college and music theory. Charlie, on the other hand, does not speak my musical vocabulary, so ours is a communication issue.
I learned them 3 chords and the truth, and I was off to the races. You
I
know,
love it. I love it. And each one of you brings something wonderful to this joint table of yours. And we keep coming back to you over and over again. So thank you so much. Hewitt Family Band Core. Yes.
we
See you
enjoy
again
y'all.
soon.
We
Thank
do
you for your
appreciate
shirt.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it.
we did.
Enjoy it very
It
much.
looks great.
Okay, next up, we're going to come back north a little bit, and from the fine state of Kentucky, Murray, Kentucky, Mr. Bill Palmer. I know that Bill Palmer has some open mics he didn't list here, but what he mostly listed here was the Johnson Bar in Paducah, Kentucky. But he also does some virtual open mics to my certain knowledge. Bill, I'm going to have Dave.
Yeah, I left off the panned open mic. My cousin Joe Palmer, sort of the ringleader of that one, and Mr. Simpson's been seen there. So that's how I know Mike. Let's see, a couple of songs, both about love, I guess. The first one's not so happy, and the second one is much more optimistic. So this first one, my wife is big time into the British baking show, And I pretend that I don't like it, but actually it's pretty cool. And they have sometimes where they're just doing this off-the-charts decoration. And so I ran into this term called pulled sugar, which is this amazing thing that they put on the top of baked things that is all shiny and beautiful, and I'm sure tastes amazing. But then I started to think, well, I want to write a Chicago-style blues song because I grew up in Chicago. So maybe we could do something with pulled sugar. So this is what came out. Well, you pulled sugar, baby. Nothing else could be so sweet. Well, you're pulled sugar, baby, so beautiful to see. But that sugar pulls so tight now, honey, you're gonna need to bring a little heat. Well, you're an angel in the morning, you're an angel in the fall. You're an angel in the evening, never know when you're gonna call. You're a dangerous devil in the summer, anytime I'd be a squall. I've been trying to help you, honey. I'm trying all day long. I gave you all of my money. I sing a long and lonesome song. Oh, well, today don't look so sunny. I'm sure you think I've done you wrong. 'Cause you're cooking in your kitchen, I smell the spices in the air. There's hot biscuits in your oven, there's flour splattered everywhere. Oh, good Lord, you know I'm hungry, but I know you just don't care. Well, you put sugar, baby, nothing else could be so sweet. You're put sugar, baby, so beautiful to see. But your sugar pulled so tight now, honey, oh, we're gonna need to bring just a little heat. You're that angel in the morning, you're that angel in the fall. You're that angel in the evening, never know when you're gonna call. You're a dangerous devil in the summer, oh, anytime I be a squall. You're a dangerous devil in the summer, oh, anytime I be a squall.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh.
Now it's too late.
Do the little flipperooski. So this is the other side of the sad love thing, where it's optimistic and hopeful. The first time I saw my darling, she was walking in a meadow under perfect sky. The first time I saw my darling, well, she blinded my eyes, and my heart gave this reply. It said, please, dear, let me dance with you slowly under your perfect sky. It said, oh, please, dear, you'll never be lonely. The wind has whispered for we birds to fly. It said, well, the wind has whispered, oh, 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 oh. The wind has whispered for we birds to fly. And it said, oh, please, dear, won't you stay with me only? Well, please give this boy a try. Well, the first time I saw my darling, she was walking in the meadow under blue plate glass sky. She said, oh, please, dear, let me walk with you slowly under your perfect sky. She said, oh, please, dear, will you never be lonely? Oh, please, dear, this is that only time for we birds to fly. Yes, it's that only time for we birds to fly. Well, the first time I saw my darling, she was walking in a meadow under perfect sky. And my heart said, please, dear, won't you stay with me only? Please give this boy a try. It said, oh, please, dear, let me dance with you slowly under the perfect sky. Oh, please, dear, you'll never be lonely. The wind has whispered for we birds to fly. Oh, yes, the wind has whispered. Oh, 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 oh. Whispered for we birds to fly.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Daphne, let's have you interview Mr. Palmer.
Yeah. Welcome back, Bill. Haven't seen you for a
Yeah,
while.
good to see you. Yeah, I've been kind of traveling again tomorrow.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
Well,
life
yes,
is
yeah.
changing a little bit. We can
Yeah.
start to do that, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I loved your songs. I always do. And what the blues song, I love the way you had that little gravelly sound in your voice.
Well, you gotta try it anyway.
Oh
you know.
yeah, that came out great. And your guitar work was wonderful. And then your second song was so different.
Yeah,
from
well, you
the
got to do
first
the happy
one.
1 second, right?
Well, it's not only that's true. Unless you have a longer show and then you could, suddenly get sad. But
really pull you down.
when you have two, you're right. So, but what I've noticed, I mean, these are two completely different genres. So, well, like where do you draw that from? Where do you get your musical ideas and genres and what are the influences of?
Well, this is an interesting combination of songs because the first one, I was truly sad. And so a lot of times when I'm truly sad and I try to write a song, I'll try to make it humorous, like one of our other songwriters earlier, something that's tragic, but you try to make it funny. I was just really sad. So, I just said, well, I had this idea with pulled sugar and I said, well, I'm just going for it. I'm just going to. So, and once again, where does it come from? I don't know. The lyrics that one came out of nowhere. And then the second song actually is my first song lyric-wise. The lyrics are the first song I ever wrote, and I wrote it for my wife. But it originally was a 3/4. It was a waltz, and I didn't particularly like playing the waltz. And I thought, man, this has got something else going. So I'm going to try this new approach to it, which I prefer. She actually doesn't like it.
Well, she wants it to be romantic.
Yeah,
right?
She remembers that. It's kind of like you hear your favorite song from your band, and she really liked the fact that it was my first song and it's about her and it's very sweet, and it really is. But the band goes and plays the song a different way, and all of a sudden you're like, that's not how it's supposed to go. So there's something like going on.
So, but I mean, even musically, they're so different. So, do you listen to a lot of different kinds of music? What's your
I do.
favorite?
It's just like really most of my life I've listened to jazz and like new age music. I played kind of improvisational piano for a long time, and would always make up songs and that kind of thing. But I got drawn to this, and it's somehow I like it better. I don't know why.
Was there somebody who drew you to songwriting? Was there any figure in your life?
Well, actually, a friend of my wife and I, Mila Maring Sims, she's kind of regionally fairly well known here, and I've known her for a long time, but never musically. But I knew her husband, and I used to actually kind of live with her husband that she married much later. Anyway, it's very indirect. But I was at a house, somebody else's house, and I had, like one of our former performers had put away the guitar for like 10 years and I knew like the C chord. That's all I remembered, And then she came with her husband and they were going to sing, and she's amazing. And they put a guitar in my hand, and that was like 5 years ago, and it hasn't left. I've been like OCD on the guitar.
Only 5 years you've been playing?
Yeah. So then I learned, but that's not really quite fair because I'd played for 2 or 3 years and then didn't play for 10 years. I took lessons for a couple of years. And then once I got OCD, it was like, and then I said, well, I wonder if I can sing. So, and then I was able to walk and chew gum.
So you were able to sing, and then you were able to write your own lyrics and your own.
But then in another life, I was an English major. So that was kind of always hiding in the background somewhere. I think I always wanted to still do, some sort of writing. And so
that's an inspiration.
I guess. Yeah, kind of converged, I guess.
That should be an inspiration for all of us that, we just keep on drawing on things that have been ours all along, but we can put them together in many different ways to come up with some wonderful.
You have to. I think everybody has to do that. And you mentioned the different kinds of music. One thing that it's like if I see somebody else's song and it's like they've got a certain melody to it, and it's just like in my mind, it's like, well, the words maybe they would be more meaningful or sound different or mean something different if it had a different melody or a different style or something like that. So kind of having different styles banging around in your head, is helpful for that, I think.
Sounds like you get playful with this. I mean, and that would fit in with your improvisation with jazz, right? I mean,
and I really can't really improvise too much on guitar and singing, although it's starting to start. But like on piano, to really be able to do all of that, 2 hands doing something different at the time, that takes a long time. So I'm being patient with it.
Do you ever sing and accompany yourself on the piano?
I can't. That is the weirdest thing. I cannot. I've played piano for a long time. I sit there and I try to play something on the piano and sing, and I just stop. It's like, I can't. Maybe someday. I don't know.
You never know, but thank goodness for the guitar, because otherwise we wouldn't get to hear your song.
That's why.
So we'll take it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank
All
you
right. Yeah,
so
thank you,
much. It
Daphne.
was
So
good
good to
to
be
see
here.
you.
Yes, thank you much.
And take it away, Mike.
All right. So next up, we have someone who's not that far from Bill Palmer in Kentucky, Judy Neal from Fayetteville, Arkansas, whose favorite virtual open mics are the Catbird Cafe in Massachusetts and a gentleman's that we know here on Open Mic America, Cowboy Rex, Bunkhouse, virtual open mic in Arizona. Her local open mic is at the Omni Center for Peace, Justice, and Ecology in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So, Judy Neal, here you go.
Probably sounds better if I unmute myself. This song came about from going to a songwriters retreat at Wattle Hollow here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And we were sent off to write something, and I didn't know at all what I was going to write about. You have 20 minutes to come back with a verse and a chorus. And while I was walking over to some place to sit down and think of something to write, my sister calls. And there's very poor cell service there, so I was surprised that she got through. And so this song is dedicated to my sister Marie. My sister, my sister, my sister, sweet Marie, my best friend, my godsend, you are the world to me. You are my inspiration, and I try to be yours. We walk the wild ways of the women gone before. Our mother, our mother, our mother taught us well. A teacher, a healer, she had stories to tell. She left her home to follow love to the western shore. She walked the wild ways of the women gone before. We come from a lineage of strength. We come from those who face their fears. We come from blood of kings and queens. We are the women pioneers. We are the women pioneers. Grandmother, grandmother, grandmother worked the land. She still kept working when she lost her man. Even in her 90s, this woman knew the score. She walked the wild ways of the women gone before. We come from a lineage of strength. We come from those who face their fears. We come from blood of kings and queens. We are the women pioneers. We are the women pioneers. Though we may not remember all of their names, we still have their stories running through our veins. We come from a lineage of strength.
Bravo.
All right.
Right.
This is a song I wrote for a man named Warren Grossman, who's a healer. And I really wanted to honor his teaching. And so most of these words, I call it a co-write, because most of these words are taken out of books that he's written. It's called The Earth is Your Mother. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. Everything is energy, the earth and me and you. Feel the resonance, nature's eloquence. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. Bare feet upon the ground, you will surely thrive. Lean your back against a tree, like you, it's so alive. Notice where there's pain, let it flow away. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. Put your hands upon your heart, feel the love in there. When love is here, fear must depart, and love it must be shared. This is how to live, learning how to give. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. The earth is your mother, let her heal you. The earth is your mother, let her heal you.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Let's send you on to Daphne to learn a little bit more about those songs.
Judy, that last song of yours was almost like a hymn or an anthem. That was really, really beautiful. And your first song, the Hewitt Family Band sang about strong women, and so did you, just in a different way. But your songs are sending really strong messages, and I'm just kind of curious, about your earliest memories of music. or other things, and how that guided you to this moment with what you write and you perform.
Yeah. Well, my earliest memory was when we were small kids. I'm the oldest of three. There was a Hammond chord organ sitting in the living room. And I just always was going up to it and pushing the buttons and pushing the keys and, just wanting to make music. And actually, I have an earlier memory than that. This is so funny. In California, I was visiting my grandfather, and he took us to a vaudeville show, and I was 4 years old. And when they got up on stage and started doing a musical number, I jumped out of my seat and started running up to the stage, and he had to grab me and pull me back. And going back to Diane's song, I'm an introvert. That was so out of character for me. I was a very shy child, and but there was something about the magic of the music on the stage. So I remember that from an early time. And then my mother always used to sing in the car. And she would sing these funny little songs, and she would teach them to the kids. And once we learned it, then she would do harmony to us.
Oh.
And
so you would sing the melodies and then she would harmonize?
Right. And so it's like, in the DNA of my brain, there are these harmonies, and I can't not do harmonies when someone else is singing. I love that sound, that resonance when voices are not the same notes, but there's something that really is beautiful that comes out of that sharing.
Do you sing with a group, or do you have people harmonize with you in performances? Or
I do. I sing with my husband, who's going to be up next. We're a duo called Good Medicine, and I sing with an all-woman band called She's Us, where we all write, we all sing, we all do harmony, and we all play different instruments.
Oh
So
my goodness, what a rich musical life you have.
Very much so.
And what about the kind of songs that you write? They all seem to have really strong messages. Are they all like that? Is that your mission? Is how?
Well, I think my best songs are like that. I joined a group called Songwriters, which gets a prompt. I think, again, Diane talked about prompts really helping. And we'd get a prompt every week, or you could choose a prompt a month. And so a lot of my songs, they come from the prompts, and they're not very good because they're not coming from a deeper place. They're an exercise, and that's very valuable to keep writing a lot, writing frequently. And so that the practice of rhyming and putting music into guitar parts and things like that's really worthwhile. But there are some prompts that just sort of go into my soul, and I start free writing and something comes, and people have talked about the download, and I call it opening the door to the muse. And I think of Rumi and how Rumi talked about being a hollow reed. It's like, make me a hollow reed, let it come through. And when that happens, I think the song has a lot of meaning. But there's other songs that are just ditties. Yeah, and I don't play those that much. But I really love writing spiritual songs that help people feel more connected one way or the other to something important.
Well, you did in those two songs. Absolutely. I felt that. So thank you for your songs, and thank you for talking about them with us. And we hope to see you again. And back to you, Mike. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Daphne. Well, now I suspect we're not moving too far at all, because Ellis Ralph is also from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and as we heard, he's a really good friend of Judy Neal's. But he talks about the first Sundays live at the Omni Center for Peace, Justice, and Ecology there in Fayetteville, and then virtual open mics, the Hearing Room, that you can find on Facebook and YouTube, and every Saturday evening at the Catbird Cafe, also on Facebook and YouTube. And so let's have Dave bring you forward and Ellis Ralph.
Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for having us here. This song is called Blue Muse. When my muse is riding high, like a full moon in the sky, she shines a light that glows so bright that it throws black shadows in the night. When my muse is riding high, when she hides behind a cloud, I'm beside myself with doubt. Her silver lining up so high might be fine, but down below I find I'm so blacked out. When she hides behind a cloud, in and out of view, comes and goes my muse. Nothing I can do without her, without her. Why she changes so, I will never know. Nowhere I can go without her, without her. When she moves out of my view, like the moon becoming new, then the darkness feels like too much blackness to even make it through. When she moves out of my view, in and out of view, comes and goes my muse. Nothing I can do without her, without her. And why she changes so, I will never know. There's nowhere I can go without her, without her. When my muse is riding high, like a full moon in the sky, she shows a light that glows so bright that it flows back shadows in the night. When my muse is riding high,
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
This one's a little longer. I got just enough time if I'm in the Just Play the Darn Song Club. Folk singers need to sing about the things. Folk need to think about the change. Folk need to bring about the who and when and how. Woody Guthrie showed us how to speak up, sing out about our views, about the truth, about the news, then and now, then and now. Woody said there's ways of saying what is on your mind, and when it ain't too healthy to talk too loud or even vote like you want to, folks have found other ways of getting the word around. He said one of the mainest ways is by singing, no matter who sings it. If it talks the lingo of the people, it's a cinch to catch on and will be sung here and yon. He said I like to write about wherever I happen to be. He sang about injustice and inequality, like the Ferguson brothers in 1946 and the wrongful conviction of the Trenton Six. Folk singers need to sing about the things. Folk need to think about the change we need to bring about, the who and when and how. Woody Guthrie showed us how to speak up, sing out about our views, about the truth, about the news, then and now, then and now. 1950, Woody signed a lease and moved on up to an apartment in Brooklyn that was owned by old Fred Trump. But living at Beach Havens, he sensed something wasn't right. It was evident 95% of the residents were white. So Woody said so long and moved on out of that dump. He expressed it in a song he addressed to Mr. Trump, saying, "No, old man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home. Trump Tower where no black folk come to roam." Folk singers need to think about the things. Folk need to think about the change we need to bring about, the who and when and how. Woody Guthrie showed us how to speak up, sing out about our views, about the truth, about the news, then and now, then and now. In 1973 and again in 78, Fred and his manager, son Donald, heard from the DOJ, who filed suit against Trump Management Corporation, accusing them of fraud and racial discrimination. Trump Village was indicted by the USA for overstating their expenses to the FHA. And because Beach Haven's black applicants kept getting sent away, Trump was behaving like a member of the KKK. Flashback 1927, Queens. About 1,000 Klansmen fought with cops as they protested. Of 7 wearing hoods arrested, 4 went to court, 2 were paroled. Only Fred Trump was free to go. Times printed his address and name, so it was Fred Trump, one and the same. One and the same, yes. then and now. Donald praised his old man Fred whenever he spoke of the roots that bred his legacy. Ironically, he hotly said on Fox TV, I don't have a racist bone in my body. Folk singers need to sing about the things folk need to think about, the change we need to bring about, the who and when and how. Woody Guthrie showed us how to speak up, sing out about our views, about the truth, about the news, then and now, then and now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Amen.
Work
Amen.
there, Ellis. You're
Nice
doing the
job,
work,
Ellis.
man.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Daphne, show us more.
Wow. Wow, Ellis. Those were quite amazing songs that you wrote. And it's sort of even hard to know where to start, but it seems like you have this way of writing a song within a song each time. Like you're looking at the topic from the outside and from the inside, like the muse. You're writing about the muse that helps you write the songs. And then with the other song, you weave the purpose of a folk song and the story of Woody Guthrie in to lend power to what you're actually going to say from the inside. This is just really, really interesting. I loved
Thanks.
it. I loved it.
You're making me start to like them myself.
Yeah. Do you always write like that? They're just so cleverly, entered. All your stories are just so intricate.
I don't always write the same. Down here we have a duo, Kelly and Donna Mulholland, known as Still on the Hill, and
Mhm.
they are just iconic in the folk music community. And one time, Donna gave a group a prompt to write a letter to your muse, or a rant to your muse, or a love song, or just write to your muse. And I've done that a few times, and I think it's really a great crack into writer's block, because at the time when you have writer's block, you feel some passion about it, you feel some emotion about it, and so you have something you're wanting to express, and writing to your muse or about your muse or something is a good thing to do, and that's worked for me a few times. I know some people who are in February album writing month, where they write 14 songs during the month of February.
Wow.
And I've never done that, but they're not allowed in that group, as I understand it, to write about writer's block, because they don't want to have 900 people with 14 songs about writer's block. But writing to your muse or about the muse is not writing about writer's block, but it is sort of getting leverage on the log jam of writer's block. So I think everybody should write a letter to their muse or something. That Donna's prompt I thought was a great one.
Yeah, it turned out to be a really, really good song. And now your second song. What did you call it? I forget the name of it.
It's called, I didn't say it, I should have. It's called Then and Now.
Right. That's the refrain that you kept singing, and it makes a lot of sense. What possessed you did you not want to just write the story straight out. You really wanted to give the message that this is the job of a folk song, and put the actual message inside of that. Is that what you were going for? I mean, it was so, you were saying this is the purpose of a folk song, and this is what I have to say within that, right?
Well, it. I'm really glad to hear that. I think it does that. But what happened with this song was that, everything in it is true, and all of the things that people said are actual verbatim quotations. And I took a lot of notes, and I have links and newspaper articles and stuff that I looked up because I was afraid somebody might think I was slandering somebody, and I wanted evidence. But it didn't start out to be that way. It started out to be a song about Woody because he's an influence on me. And I looked up some things about Woody in order to have sort of a lexicon to say more. And I found out that, Woody loved Coney Island, and he rented this place from Trump, and the place was segregated illegally, and Woody left as soon as he could, and all the stuff it says in the song. And so the song got longer.
Well, it got beautiful. It got really complex, and we can just, it's not that you're just making statements, you're weaving it into history you're talking about somebody we already know and revere as folk musicians, and showing his perspective of it. And that was really powerful. I really like that. And your guitar playing, you've been playing guitar for a long time, right?
I just keep using the same 3 chords. That's what I use. That's all I got.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you. And wait, are you and Judy in the same house but in different rooms, just on different Zooms?
She's in her office and I'm in my office upstairs.
That's great. That's really great. Well, thank you so much for your performance, Ellis. That was really good, and we hope to see you again. And I'm going to pass everything back on to Mike Simpson.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Jim. Rizak, we're going to move to you now. And he's from Wyoming, Delaware. He says he's done local open mics at The Fire in Philadelphia, and lots of singer-songwriter showcases in Delaware, Kent County Theater Guild, the In Harmony series of concerts, Ice House concerts in Wyoming, Delaware. I've heard of that one. And he's done the Make Music Day in Philadelphia. And he's played the open mic at the Bitter End in New York City. And boy, I tell you, that's credentials right there at the Bitter End. All right. So I'm going to have Dave bring you forward and give you the stage.
Thanks for having me, first of all. Amazing. Thank you. I'll be your lightning when your clouds roll away. Your flexible flyer on that winter day. I'll be your mattress when your bones are tired. Your retro rocket when your engines have fired. I'll be your moon angel, bluer than blue. I'll be your moon shadow, that's what I do. So look into the sky and see where you and I began. Look in your heart, you will know who I am. I was your floating spaceship in '63. A million waves like a million hands rolling up from the sea. They pull you away, they're pulling you back, they're pulling you home. I'm letting you go, but I'm letting you know you ain't going alone. I'll be your moon angel, bluer than blue. I'll be your moon shadow, that's what I do. So look into the sky and see where you and I began. Look in your heart, you will know who I am. I'm not out of my head, but you're out of your mind. Doesn't matter to me, but it matters the time. Something you said stuck in my head. I can land safely home, but you're better off dead. Been here before, it's just not okay. I've been here before, it's just yesterday. Nothing but talking and we're walking, we're walking, we're walking. Once in a dream, once in a lifetime, record was spinning. It felt like the right time I put on my shoe. Got the moon, I put on my suit. I left the room. How could you do what you do, what you do? How is it you knew what you knew, what you knew? Anytime, any place, nothing but lies in all of the space. I'll be your moon angel, bluer than blue. I'll be your moon shadow, that's what I do. So look into the sky and see where you and I began. Look in your heart, you will know who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You're just my mother clapping. One more song. That was Flexible Flyer. That's an interesting story behind that. There is no story behind it. This one's Paper Cup. And I don't usually do this, but this is such an opportunity, where people get to talk about it. This song was written because if you've ever been a kid at a birthday party outside, especially people of a certain age, we had those paper Dixie cups, and you'd get Kool-Aid or something poured in it, and then you go and play, and an hour later you come back, Kool-Aid was still in there, but there was condensation around the cup, and it was almost like the liquid was trying to get out and expanded the boundaries. And I thought, what a good visual for a heart that is hopefully filled with so much love that it's bursting, but it's still intact. So this is called Paper Cup. I have flown on empty wings. I've been shown what sadness brings. I've had oceans in my head turn into dried riverbed. But somewhere in those desert dreams I dive into the deepest stream. It's your love surrounds me as I wait here for your love to drown me. My heart is a paper cup. Your love is what fills it up. Soaks right through me and surrounds me. All your love all around me. Love is water, love is ice, love can drown or baptize. I've been years without the rain, now I know love's other name. If only you could swim through me like water in the deepest sea, then you know what I have when all your love flows over me. My heart is a paper cup, your love is what fills it up, soaks right through me and surrounds me. All your love all around me. Sometimes I fill up my sea with a notion, then I float in my boat asleep on your ocean. My heart is a paper cup, your love is what fills it up, soaks right through me and surrounds me. All your love all around me.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, I'm going to hand you off to Daphne here for a little analysis.
Oh gosh, Jim, I forgot that I'm supposed to be interviewing. I got so caught up in your songs. They were really wonderful.
Thank you.
You just use so much powerful imagery in all your lyrics, both of the songs, and such beautiful and tight metaphors that, it just sends our mind. It's
Well,
amazing.
thank you. It's and I appreciate you saying that. That's I put a lot of effort into that, and I also enjoy that. So part of that comes easier than some of the other things I do with my songs. But I do, you know, I long time ago I knew I didn't want to write songs that have already been written, and I was very fortunate. I've only been writing for 12 years. I've played guitar all my life, which is weird because I'm only 22. That's a joke. I, no, I'm 65, and I only started writing about 12 years ago, and I was very fortunate. I had not going to drop a name, but someone who won an Academy Award. He's become a good friend, but he gave me a piece of advice. He said, if the first rhyme that comes to your mind is usually something you've already heard, so you got to go around the block sometimes 19 times before you get that. So.
Well, it's not only the rhymes, it's like your songs are like a video going through in my head. You say the words and I have these images, and I could almost see you doing that actually with a real video. It's beautiful. So wait a second, you said you started writing 12 years ago. What made you suddenly wake up 12 years ago and start writing songs?
Oh, I was about to say, well, I don't know, but I do know. I joined a band, an Americana band, and I thought I was going up join a surf band. I showed up and there's a mandolin and an upright bass. I'm like, okay, but this is not my house. And two of the members had 3 songs that they were doing originals along with all covers. So there were each one of them had 3 apiece, and I was just so impressed by this. I went home and dug up some. I say I've only written for 12 years, and that's true. But everyone who picks up a guitar starts from day one, starts noodling with stuff, And so I had these bits and pieces. I went back and finished 3 of them, and I went up and knocked on the lead singer's doors. Bobby Fisher was her name. It's kind of neat and really cool. But I said, hey, I want to throw my hat in the ring, and I did that, and they accepted all three of them. So, and then I just couldn't stop after that. So.
Just like that.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking, what took me so long? I tell people I didn't have anything to say until then, which is not true.
No, you were just gathering it up and stirring it up until it was ready to come out in this beautiful kind of a form.
Wow,
Um,
you're so complimentary. Thank you so much. I'm
So
blushing.
do you still play in a band?
Well, no. The last thing I did was all original and was all my stuff, and I had two. I also teach guitar for a living, and to pay the bills. And I had a young lady who was taking lessons, and she started singing one of my songs, harmony, one day. And then she brought her sister along one time, so we had a little bit of a band going for a while. It was called the Church Key Saints, and but it's pretty much just me at this point,
Mhm.
You know.
So just before I let you go, tell me about that instrument that's hanging on the wall behind you.
Okay, that is the I teach, and I taught a retired gentleman, retired engineer, and he made this for me. I won't give you the long story, but this is the infamous Delicaster. Someone was talking about a Telecaster earlier. This is a Delicaster, and if you look really close, the knobs are Delaware quarters, and it was made by Mr. Gregory S. Kindig. He's now in Hawaii, and I love this. He made this for me. He never paid for lessons. He was always making me stuff like this.
Well, at least he didn't pay you in meatballs like in The Wedding Singer.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. But thank you. This has been, I can't thank you guys enough. I was looking forward to this since I signed up for it, Oh, and a shout out to all the people from Delaware who are listening, because I know you're out there.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Jim. Hope to see you again. Really enjoyed your music.
Thank you.
And Jim, as a fellow fan, let me just say about your artwork. Nuff said.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
and
right.
They're both playing the Delicaster.
The
I don't know if you
Delicaster,
noticed
that's
that.
right. Yeah.
It's that guitar. Excelsior.
All right. So we're gonna swing all the way across the country here and land pretty close to where I live, and we're gonna enjoy music from Robert Edgar. He hasn't been doing a lot of live performing at open mics, and so he's listing Open Mic America as his favorite open mic. And Robert, we thank you. Go ahead and give us a show here.
Well, thank you. This is, let's see, can you hear me okay? Is the audio okay? Okay, good. I always pick up something from these open mics, and I appreciate the chance to come back. Here's a song I wrote some time ago. It's called Here For You. You know the front door locks from the inside. It's not there to keep us from leaving. But darling, every time I've walked away, my escape was just deceiving. Well, a home should never just become a hiding place, but neither should that doorway out. There's something that I need for you to understand about this soul, without a doubt. I love you, darling, and I'm here I've walked away from people who never did me wrong. I know the hurt's been long, and I'm sorry for what I did. Sometimes logic is a lock that takes a truth, avoids a sleuth, and keeps it hid. And some things are hard to recognize until you step back a painter's distance. But I'm not a fool, and I'm not blind to the value of persistence. I love you, darling, and I will always be here for you. Since I was a child, even the moon wasn't too far away. And if you leave, I swear to you, my home and arms will always be a place for you to stay. It took a while, I finally learned that being at peace means needing each other, and emptiness spreads if you dismiss this hopeful heart of another. So don't anticipate that when you enter that front door that you find an empty room. Know that there's a heart waiting within my chest that's surviving because of you. I need you, darling, and I'll always be here for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, here's a waltz called "Come Kissin' with Me." The sky is so elegant, the flowers so red. The sun was out early, got us out of bed. The light is so warm, it's as nice as can be. Why don't you come and go kissing with me? I love it at night, kissing under the moon. It's nice in the day when we kiss in my room. But darling, there's something about a daylight party. Why won't you come and go kissing with me? Your eyes are so lovely, the air is so clear, this apartment's so tiny, hey, let's bust out of here. We're not so bad looking, yeah, we're something to see. Why won't you come and go kissing with me? People stare, I don't care, it's not my role to free 'em. You and me ought to be unconcerned to see 'em. I love all your colors, I love all your moves, your deep-held convictions and your shallow ones too. It's time to be friendly in the open, don't you see? Why don't you come and go kissing with me? Why don't you come and go kissing with me?
Oh yeah.
That's good fun.
Like that.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, we're going to have Daphne interview you now.
Well,
for
thank
that.
you, Robert. Well, Robert is also an interviewer on our show. So this time he's performing and he's on the other end of everything. I think I've interviewed you once before, but that's okay. We could ask similar questions because there might be an audience out there who hasn't heard all the things about you.
I may have forgotten them too. So
Yeah, you
make it
might.
fresh.
We're going to see if you answer the same answers. No, I'm just teasing. But I've got to say, I really love those songs. Your songs are always they're delight me with how surprising they are. Like lyrically, you come up with all these phrases that I never thought of using, like "go kissing with me." You know, that's a, and there's a lot of surprises in the melody, and then there's a lot of surprises in the chord structure that you use also, which keeps a listener listening because they never know what's going to happen, and it all sort of flows together. So where does that all come from, all those different things, you know?
First of all, there's a quote by a Canadian filmmaker who was probably my favorite filmmaker, a man named Michael Snow. He died earlier this year. But he was talking about making art, and he said, well, if I make something, I feel I should do something that hasn't been done before. So I that's always resonated with me. And so I always try to have something in a song that, or in a piece of music that is would be considered wrong. Something in there that would be new. I usually try, first of all, for lyrics, I usually, and I've said this before, I usually go to an event or a time or something, a place often where something happens, and I can go back to that as I write the lyrics, and I kind of reach inside and find something from that and bring it out. So it has more detail than the lyrics have, but I can apply that detail to the lyrics as I write them. And I've lived and traveled a little bit, so I think I have a range of stuff back there, and a range of musical experiences that give me some variety in that too.
Okay, so you actually spoke to something I wanted to mention. I forget what line it is when you sang it. It was in the waltz. And you got this little smile on your face when you sang that particular line. And you could tell that you were reliving whatever it was that you were describing at that moment. So that's exactly what you just told us. And it was evident from how you sang it, actually. You dug back and you were reliving it through the song. That was very cool. And I forget what line. I wish I could have told you, but I noticed that, like, ooh, he's smiling now. You know, I bet he's just thinking about that. And you said you traveled around and you've had a lot of musical experiences. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
A 5-second tour. I
Okay.
started with with singing, and then had a rock band in junior high and high school. And then when I got to college, I had a flute with me. I went to the music school in Syracuse, where I was, and I said I'd like to take a course with a teacher here to learn how to play this flute. And they said, well, no, the instructors here are all busy with music students, full-time music students who are dedicated to this. Don't you think that's a good idea? And I said, oh, no, that's a terrible idea. Music should be for everyone. You should open this up. And he smiled, as he should have. But then he said, look, we have this one class that we have plenty of openings at because the music students are not filling it up. And it's electronic music on a new, huge Moog installation that was put in to the music school. And so, coming from rock at that time, there's Hendrix with feedback, and I'd heard a little bit of Stockhouse and everything. So I said, oh, absolutely. So I took that for 5 years, electronic music composition, where we composed with the Moog and tape and razor blades and splicing tape. And so it was an entirely different type of music. At the same time, I was right by New York. We used to hear Phil Glass and Steve Reich at the Kitchen and other places in Manhattan at that time when it was still really pretty new. There was minimalist music at the time, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. And so after that, more music. I played with some South Indian classical musicians for about a decade and learned a lot from that. And I don't blame any of them for what I do, but all of it influenced a bit.
That really explains a lot, honestly. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing it with us, and your very unusual songs that I love listening to. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. And thank you for being part of our OMA team also. That's really
I learn from this all the time. Thank you.
Well, we'll see you around. Thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Daphne. All right, next up, a man who I haven't seen for a long time, but I used to see him every once in a while playing up in Berkeley when he lived there. But now he's in Asheville, North Carolina, and I would like to have us hear our final, taking us home act, Mr. Chuck Brodsky.
Good evening, everybody. It's been really nice hearing everybody else sing. Appreciate the invitation to be part of the open mic. In these polarized times, as we all know, there are only two types of people: those that are them and those that are us.
There's a standoff all across the Great Divide, with friends and family members on both sides. Someone struck a match, it would combust, scorching everyone, both them and us. It's raining dirty words and disrespect. It's not having any positive effect. The bridges have collapsed because of rust. We can't reach each other, them and us. We've got our earplugs in and our blinders on, and we wonder, where have all the flowers gone? Where once there was was a garden, cool and lush. All that's left here now is them and us. And I've never felt so lonely in this world as I do when all those banners are unfurled and the airwaves are just spewing all that stuff about us and them. Look what it's done to us. Our differences are few and overblown, and it sometimes leads to punches being thrown. But there seems to be a few things to discuss, but you can't say a word to them or us. We write them off because of how they vote, and we write them off because they came on a boat. We turn our backs with contempt and with disgust at every one of them who isn't us. We identify them by clothes they wear. We identify them by their skin and hair. And we look for any reason not to trust whatever about them is not like us. And I've never felt so lonely in this world as I do when all those banners are unfurled and the airwaves are just spewing all that stuff about us and them. Look what it's done to us. Thoughtful, decent people turning mean. If only all our gods could intervene. But there must be some controls they could adjust. Maybe they could make us whole, them and us. And I've never felt so lonely in this world as I do when all those banners are unfurled and the airwaves are just spewing all that stuff about us and them. Look what it's done to us. There's a standoff all across the Great Divide with friends and family members on both sides.
Oh my goodness.
Very,
Nice.
Wow.
very good song.
Love that.
This next song kind of goes with that. I'll just check my tuning real quick. You know, given the state of things, it's gotten pretty near impossible to ever get anybody to change their minds about things that they believe. And no matter whether or not you come armed with facts. And so I've certainly tried a few times, I suppose, to persuade people that, hey, what I believe is right, you know, and nothing's ever worked. But I have come up with an idea that I think has some potential here, and you can let me know if you think it's going to work.
After 3 or 4 tries, I poked out his eyes. That's how I got him to see. To get him to hear, I screamed in his ear. I gave him the 3rd degree. I sharply berated him and told him I hated him. I wasn't very kind. I shouted and cussed until I won his trust. That's how I changed his mind. I shunned him, ignored him, I wouldn't look toward him. I only would give him my back. I accused him of lies I would not compromise. I erased him after the fact. I was abrupt, I would often interrupt. We were volatile when combined. And in stating my case, I blew up in his face. And that's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. I blamed him, shamed him, insulted and inflamed him. That's how I changed his mind. Now this man was an ass. I was gonna let him pass, let him take a wide berth of me. But I was right and he was wrong, like I was telling him all along, trying to just get him to see. But he's a this and I'm a that, so we couldn't have a chat of the friendly and civilized kind. Round after round, I just ground him down, and that's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. Blamed him, shamed him, insulted and inflamed him. That's how I changed his mind. So I stomped on his toes and I punched him in the nose. I was using irony. So sure of the truth, I knocked out his tooth and I kicked him twice in the knee. I won over his heart with a poisonous dart. You should have seen me unwind, being overly cruel and with ridicule. Oh, that's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. Blamed him, shamed him, insulted and inflamed him. That's how I changed his mind. I think it's got potential. So I called him a fool, challenged him to a duel, threw my white glove in his face. 20 paces and I shot and I must have hit the spot. Anyway, that's how I pleaded my case. Well, I won in the end after making him bend, and after all the papers were signed. In the end, I won, and that's how it was done. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. Blamed him, shamed him, insulted and inflamed him. That's how I changed his mind. Yes, I blamed him, shamed him, I might have even maimed him. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind. That's how I changed his mind.
Superior.
Right.
Very nice.
Brodsky. I want to have Daphne talk about those songs. I think.
Oh
there's
my
something to
God.
talk
I
about
think
there.
those songs just talk for themselves. Talk about taking us home. You took us home with a lot to think about, Chuck. I mean, this is great. If none of what you said changes anybody's mind, maybe your songs will change somebody's mind, right? And let us just think about all that stuff and and where we stand and what we're doing.
Well, that's the hope. You never have any way of knowing how your songs will affect anybody out there, and I think if you put what you need to put into it, you know, to say your piece, and if you and to say it in a way that maybe won't immediately cause people to get defensive, you know, I think that's a huge aspect of it, because you certainly, and I certainly have over the years in song, pointed fingers more, and all that's going to do is make the person that you're hoping will learn something go like this, you know, and so that leads nowhere. And you know, I guess it becomes an ego thing to write that song as you are, you know, if you're going to be stubborn, I suppose, and point that finger, when there could be maybe another way of making the same point, I suppose, that doesn't immediately cause that person to shut you out.
Right. And when I was listening to your first song before I even heard the second one, I was thinking about that, how you use the word I and us all over that song, just putting everyone in the same place and doing more self-examination of us rather than attacking any particular group of people. And it makes it so much more approachable. And I just loved hearing how you did it, even though it was quite the lament. And you just said how you felt. You know, I never felt so lonely in this world. So, you know, you're just saying how lonely you feel, and people will be drawn to you, and maybe listen a little bit. And then the second one, of course, humor. Humor is the greatest tool, right?
I think I'd like to explain that loneliness line, though. It's not that I'm a lonely person per se, but it's that I don't identify with either the left or the right. I think I've seen too much BS from both sides, and I have been a lifelong leftist. But, you know, over the last several years, I just hear nothing but hollow stuff from either side. And I see people on both sides attacking each other, and you know, I can't be on any side that attacks like that, just because of this person voted this way or voted that way, or you know, these superficial things that we don't realize we have so much more in common with each other than how we may have voted or how we may feel about one or two or three or four hot button issues like guns or abortion or whatever. And we all feel differently. Every single person you ask is an individual, and they all have their own opinions. And so dividing our country down the middle and saying, I'm going to be on this team or I'm going to be on this team, that doesn't work for me anymore like it did when I was younger. And so that's what I mean. I feel very lonely in that everybody is on a side. Everybody's on a team.
And you're just standing there looking at these two sides and just feeling like you don't really belong to either one of them. So it feels very alone.
Yeah, and also it's not working, you know. And I'm standing here as a neutral. I'm not a neutral observer. I'm living life. I'm in the midst of it all, but I don't see either side with coming up with constructive approaches. I don't see either side reaching out to the other side and trying to form bridges. And, you know, if that's indicative of what life in this country has become, I think that's a very sad state.
Yes, yes. And your songs express that perfectly. And they might, you know, if enough people listen to things like this, they might just wake up a little bit, and their ears might open just slightly, and hearts might open just a little bit because of how you express these things. So thank you so much for it. I wanted to ask you a whole bunch of other questions, like about the instruments that are hanging behind you and whether you play them all. Do you?
I do, yeah. Piano's my main instrument, actually.
Violin? Or is that a violin there?
Yeah, I messed around with it for a while. I ended up having neck, elbow, and hand issues from trying to play it, so I had to lay it down.
And the squeeze box, I see.
No.
On the piano.
I have a couple accordions.
Little tiny accordion, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do you
just
play them
for-
all at your shows? Do you have shows that you do with?
Oh yeah, I this is what I've been doing for the last 30 years full time, and
Mhm.
I only bring a guitar with me. I've started bringing a keyboard lately,
Mhm.
just this
Mhm.
past year.
Mhm.
So, but I don't play any of the smaller instruments in my shows. It's too much trouble to bring it all those instruments and tune them and sound check them and all that. And
Yeah.
I don't know that they would really necessarily add all that much.
Mhm. Well, anyway, you didn't need to add anything to your two songs. They were plenty and more as they were. And thank you very much for taking us home with them, Chuck. That was really a treat. Thank you.
Thanks for
And back to
including me.
you, Mike.
All right. Well, it's been a great night. It's been a privilege to be your master of ceremonies for that, and I want to thank our performers here each. Um, Diane Battistello, you guys can wave as I say your name there, and then everybody will know you love them. Diane Battistello, Ron Smith, the Hewitt Family Band, Bill Palmer, Judy Neal, Alice Ralph, Jim Rezac, Robert Edgar, and Chuck Brodsky. Those were our performers tonight. And I want to have our audience out there and the performers too. Check out the website, openmicamerica.com. It's all one word with no spaces. It has links to the music of all OMA performers. It's got archives of the past shows. And so I want to make sure that you go and check that out. There's wonderful stuff there. The hosts that we have here today are me, Mike Simpson, our engineer, Capo Dave Williams, who's also the founder of Open Mic America. He works tirelessly behind the scenes to make all this possible. Daphne Ramil, our interviewer, who is also a staff member and another hard worker. And of course, we could play this without an audience, but why? All our YouTube audience, I'm glad that you're there. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked this show, tell others. Spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. If you go onto the website, you can even download and print your own copies of our posters from the website. Hang them somewhere where folks can see them. You can also get a t-shirt through openmicamerica.com, and, very select group wearing those t-shirts. Please check out your local and virtual open mics. We will have listed the ones where our performance play under the local open mics tab on the website, and that'll give you a chance to hear a wide variety of other performers. Our next Open Mic America show will be April 16th, same time, same station, with founder Capo Dave one more time as our engineer. Laura Bordowitz will be our MC, and yours truly as the interviewer. Stay tuned, and we'll post up on the website the next full lineup of performers. All right. I'm now going to head us out into the closing credits thing and make sure that everyone here, I'm going to mute everybody. I'm going to mute myself. And remember to say, good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.